country in the world, and it is worth fighting for. It is worth bleeding for. And if it takes it, it's worth dying for the greatest country that this world has ever seen.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Sorry, Graham's not here.
Boo!
Todd's back. Woo!
But I
everybody
am
get-
back. I am back. And first off, let me just say a lot of people reached out to me yesterday on various social media accounts, checking on me. Thank you. That was really nice of all of y'all. I'm at about 60 to 70% right now. But I am on the mend. I am getting better. So thank all of you guys for reaching out. But listen, before we get started, let's get this out of the way. Do not forget to hit that like button. The more likes we get, the more we stay in the algorithm, stay up. We want everybody to see what we got to do, what we got to say, because we got a lot to talk about today. Also, the share button. Share this with at least 10 to 15 people that you know it's going to just piss off, because honestly, that's what we like to do. Let's check and see, because Graham is not here, so you have to deal with me today. But there's a couple other guys that you're going to have to deal with as well. And I'm not going to go this long, drawn-out Graham thing.
Do it.
Doing it. Not Mexican Tony, my brother from...
What up, everybody? Good morning.
Man.
Mr. Todd is back today. He survived. He survived whatever was going on with him. So good to have you back, brother.
I'm not a crazy cat producer,
Yeah.
but I
Anybody
did
that
it
owns a
yesterday.
It's crazy.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited
You
about
know, and let's bring us three together. We were talking about this earlier, because we are going to try to be live the entire time during election day, but it kind of presented a problem for me, and I got to figure out how I'm going to do it, because Mississippi, we don't early vote here. So either A, I'm not going to be able to vote because I'll be in South Carolina, or B, I'm going to have to vote early in the morning and then drive all the way to South Carolina to get to hang out with you guys. So, Tony, you haven't voted yet, right?
I have not. My wife and I talked about going, and the lines were around the corner. So I think we're going to go on Friday when we don't do the show. So.
Which
Friday's
poses
my
a good
day.
question. For everybody in the chat right now, if you have already voted, give me a thumbs up. Let us know. Hey, if you voted, if you're proud that you voted, give us a thumbs up and let us know. But before we get everything going, let's get started with our first sponsor, and that is Better Debt Solutions. Time if you qualify for their programs. You need someone to stand between you and the bill collectors. All you have to do is go to betterdebtnow.com/Graham. Go to their website right now, and that's betterdebtnow.com/Graham.
When you were doing the ad there, Todd.
There's sound.
Well,
No sound
everybody's
from
saying
me?
on the chat. No sound. Yeah, they can see you moving your lips, but they can't hear you.
Oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. Better Debt Solutions, that's Better
They
Debt.
said, "Thank you. Sound is back."
Oh, good. Great. Not one of mine.
I checked it. The sound was on, so I don't know what happened.
All right,
that is on that is on Royce. I'm not the producer for today. So
It's all right. Moving on.
Moving on. We have a very interesting conversation to talk about here. Witches have made the news, apparently. And I have to be honest, with the failed assassination attempts, with the failed imprisonment of Donald Trump, listen, I argue with me if you want. I don't care. But whether you're a Christian or not, I firmly believe that God had his hand on President Trump. And apparently a group of witches on Reddit also think so. Okay. This came on. I wish I was making this up, but I'm not. So Here we go.
I wish you were making it up.
Yeah, I know, right? Some other witches have mentioned that doing spells directly against Trump are not as effective as we might hope, as he seems to have some kind of protection around him. A freezer spell against Project 2025 would likely be useful, but I wouldn't give the Cheeto any more attention right now. Y'all, this is just weird. Okay, so apparently, these mouth-breathing, LARPing, hocus pocus, Sarah Jessica Parker wannabe witches are trying to cast spells on President Trump. And imagine that, it ain't working. Okay. It ain't working because it's just weird. B, it's not going to work because, yes, of course, Donald Trump has protection around him. It's called Jesus. And
That's
you
right.
might want to put your Wiccan boards down and pick up the Bible. Just a thought.
I think it's funny when people, because there's people who don't believe in the whole witches and stuff like that and demons and all that. You don't believe in it?
Not witches is like I'm sorry, like
I don't exactly believe in the magic and stuff.
Supernatural,
Yeah.
hex bags and all that crap. No, do I believe that there are witches out there that worship the devil? Yeah,
Exactly.
of course I do.
Yeah,
All right?
I don't believe in the magic aspect of it, but there's definitely a demonic spirit around all of that. And so the fact they're saying that there's some kind of protection around them, I think it's funny that they say some kind, because what else of protection would it be besides the protection of God, Jesus?
100%. But
So-
demons, devils, yes. But, taking your little and going, Expelliarmus. No, I don't believe in that.
Yeah,
Not at all.
exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
No, I'm
But
not
no,
buying it.
the demons are real, all that stuff, and that's just what's possessing these people to make them think that they're witches. They can't do stuff unless it's through the devil himself. And that's all that is. But
Yeah,
the fact
All
that
you,
they're saying that there's a
all you have to
protection.
do is look at Kamala. She's the head witch of them all. The other day when she was doing her
Yes.
when she was doing her rally, she kicked out those people who said Jesus is king.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
I
You're at
agree
the
with that.
wrong rally.
You're at the wrong
Now,
rally.
do
yeah.
I believe in any of that crap? No, I don't. But again, I'm also not going to take a little, I was not the guy, hey, man, we're going to hang out with a Ouija board tonight. No, we're not. Nope. I want no part of that. But Harry Potter is just TV. So, yeah. Moving on. Tim Walz, apparently,
Elon's on that stage, jump.
out of everybody in this country that could call Elon Musk weird. Really, Tim? Really? This is what he had to say.
Elon's on that stage, jumping around, skipping like a dipshit on these things. You know it. Elon's on that stage.
Now, here's the thing. Now, I
Skipping
gotta
around,
give,
skipping
I
like-
gotta give the line. I gotta give the line
like a
credit.
dipshit on
Okay,
these.
if I say that, it hits a little different. Okay, because let's be real. I mean, Elon is the richest man in the world, but he is a little weird. I mean, he is weird. So if I say that, if it comes out of my mouth, it's funny. But if it comes out of Tim Walz's mouth after seeing this clip right here, get for real.
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. He is a weird guy. He walks on the stage. There's something wrong with that guy. And he called me weird. And then the fake news media picks it up. That was the word of the day. Weird, weird, weird. They're all going, but we're not weird guys. We're very solid people that want our country to be great again. I mean, it's very simple.
Like, I'm sorry.
He
No.
is the last person to be mocking someone for kicking their legs and jumping around
Yeah,
and
100%.
skipping. That's all he does. That's like his character, right?
Agreed.
Plus, Elon, he has Asperger's. Like, he actually
Yeah.
has a social disability.
He does.
What's this guy's excuse? He's just straight up weird.
Freaking wacko.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase. He's a knucklehead, according to him. He's a knucklehead.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
no
that was
matter
a weird
what,
one.
no matter what anybody thinks of Walz, I mean, whatever weird thing he's got going on, let's everybody just remember that he let his city burn. He
Yeah.
was the guy in charge, and he literally let his city burn. That's all you got to say about him, and just don't
Well,
give him any
yeah,
more-
he
don't
let
give
his
him any
city
more attention.
burn. He put tampons in boys' bathrooms, and apparently, if if y'all haven't seen this, he was talking about his mother's like Social Security, and he was talking about his mom, and he's like, yeah, and when my mom cashes her Social Security check, that's how she feeds herself. And I'm like, good job, son. Like, way to go. Like, I wouldn't have said that out loud. So, yeah, sorry. Tim, go sit down. You can't make fun of anybody, like anybody. But I tell you somebody that can make fun of you, and that's Tucker. I 100% agree with this statement. Breaking, Tucker Carlson says that VP nominee Tim Walz looks super, super gay.
And he's not wrong at all. It's probably the most accurate description. I think it's better than just calling him weird.
Dude, I got to be honest with you. I think his wife is a cover-up.
Well, I mean,
do.
We can talk about the Obamas too on that.
Yeah,
topic,
I'm just
but
saying,
maybe we
man.
shouldn't get into it.
I'm just saying, you know, there's something, and it might not come out today, it might not come out tomorrow, but it's going to be told. Something is off.
There is something circulating on the internet, but
I
obviously
know.
without any 100% proof, we can't really
Yeah,
talk
we don't
about
wanna
it.
Talk about
yeah,
that
we don't want to talk
yet.
about it, but I mean, everybody can do their own research.
Mhm.
Just go online, and if you're actually looking for information, there is tons of stuff online. So,
Well, it's like I've said this before, men, and when I say men, I mean real men, okay? Real men are born with in particular, radar that goes off when there's an individual around you. Every time I see Tim Walz, my radar goes crazy.
your spidey sense just goes
My
off.
spidey sense starts tingling, and not in a good way, okay?
How many movies can be referenced on one show? We
A
got
lot.
Spider-Man, Harry Potter. Let's see who else.
Well,
I'll start writing them all down.
If it were up to me, I would call Tim Walz not the diddler, the tiddler. I'm just saying.
There you go. There's Batman.
What does that
the
even
tiddler.
mean?
He's the tiddler. Ain't no doubt. I'm sorry. Or the whittler. The whittler. That's it. That sounds even better. Whittler.
Yeah, the Whittler sounds a little bit better.
Yep.
But
So from now on, he will be called the Whittler. Here we go. On to our last. This is our last sponsor, ain't it?
It is.
Second
just
and
the
last.
two.
Okay, let's talk about Birch Gold, ladies and gentlemen.
We have interview.
Oh yeah, we do. Oh, I don't have to talk. So we have Graham sat down with a guy from Birch.
Royce
It's
is like,
about
yay.
it's about a 4 or 5 minute interview. Y'all get to actually listen to somebody that y'all can understand instead of this hillbilly accent. So let's play the video.
All right, Philip, my favorite American accent is back here to talk to us about, Philip, is today the day that we get good news from you? Is today the day?
Let's wait until today is not the day, Graham. I wish it was.
Maybe we need an election to happen. Maybe we need something.
That was my point. Let's see after the election. I think we'll get some good stuff.
All right, we got the latest inflation numbers have come out. Can you explain to us what all of it means? Can you break it down for us?
Yeah, a lot of analysts were surprised. So last month, we saw obviously the Federal Reserve cut interest rates by 0.5%. The excuse being the cooling labor market. That was the bigger economic risk, or bigger than inflation. The very next inflation report that's come out saw a spike in CPI. So this is core inflation that doesn't include food and energy. Core CPI rose to 3.3% year over year, essentially reversing the downward trend we'd seen for the first half of the year. This is problematic, right? Because by cutting rates, basically the Federal Reserve is saying the inflation war is over, it is mission accomplished, and it is clearly not the case. But what was really concerning is if we look closer at the numbers, only 2 categories have declined in price over the last year. Energy commodities, so gasoline and fuel, and vehicles, both new and used. That's it. Every other category, food, utility, insurance, home prices, all increasing. And obviously this is unwelcome news because it tells us that inflation, while no longer blazing hot, is now smoldering. I think it's still got plenty of fuel and could easily flare up again.
Well, I can argue that the gas prices are being lowered right before the election at just the right time to kind of to try to pull one over on the American people to make things seem like they're better than they are. Talk to me about a recent New York Fed survey revealed that 2 in 3 American households are living paycheck to paycheck already. I think the thing that people are wondering about, so many people literally are living like that. Man, they are stretching that paycheck out to the very last hour before they get paid again. Could things get worse for the American people?
Sadly, I would say yes, they could, because we've got tens of millions of Americans that have been accumulating debt in recent years for the reason you mentioned, right? Their paycheck just isn't keeping pace with the cost of living. Last week, I saw a report that a record number of Americans are now having to work more than one job. And even those making over $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck, which is an absurdity. But what I think is becoming increasingly clear is that the US economy is splitting, right, between the wealthiest households, right, those whose net worth is invested in assets, who actually are doing rather well on the back of inflation, and of course everyone else whose net worth is their paycheck, and we're slowly getting crushed by rising prices and slower growth. Now, what people don't realize is inflationary pressures push all prices up. It's not just food and fuel, but real estate, natural resources, and commodities. So, the key to thriving in environments like this is to avoid debt and to preserve your purchasing power, essentially by owning tangible assets. And I think that's largely why we're seeing this split.
So I know that the answer is going to be text the word Graham, that's GRAHAM, to 989898 right now to figure out how Birch Gold can help the American people in this time of need. Explain to us why. Why do people need to invest in gold, silver, or precious metals at this particular time with the economy that we're facing across the board?
Because it kind of ties into what we're talking about, right? Inflation is a very negative thing. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're seeing the buying power of that paycheck erode. The flip side is, for those that own commodities, for those that own assets, inflation drives the value of those assets up. Gold, being a commodity, is driven up by inflation. That's why in this climate, it's setting records in terms of growth. It's being driven by inflation, by government spending, and by demand. As we've discussed in the past, global demand for gold in this climate is at all-time highs. Central banks are setting records for the last 2.5 years, and it's continuing into this year for gold buying because they're struggling for the same reasons, right? They're holding dollars, they're seeing the purchasing power of those dollars reduce, and they're using gold as a hedge. So I've said it before and I'll say it again, follow the smart money. They know what they're doing, and they're moving into gold and commodities in large quantities today.
Well, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to text the word Graham. That's GRAHAM to 989898 right now. And Philip, well, maybe not Philip, but people just as smart as Philip will be on the phone with you to figure out your needs and how gold, silver, and precious metals can help you in such uncertain times. Philip, one of these days, me and you will probably both be out of a job at that point. But one of these days, you're going to give me some good news about this. I'm telling you. All right, my friend. Well, hey, God bless you, man. We appreciate you guys at Birch and everything you're doing. Thank you for coming on and letting us know where we stand.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. And can I just add, all right, I ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think this is possible. But it's better to be prepared for the impending doom that Kamala Harris could be the next president of the United States. All right. It's better to be prepared. So listen, if you have a retirement, if you have IRA, we've seen the last 4 years, the value of the dollar is tanking. And if you're watching the news, North Korea has already sent troops to Russia to help with Ukraine. All right. You got Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, all of these countries coming together to cripple America. And the one way to do it is not in a hand-to-hand, gun-to-gun fight with us. It's not going to happen. How you hit us is financially, okay? And what better way to do it? By destroying the value of the dollar, by doing that and getting all of these countries to start using other forms of currency instead of the dollar tanks us. So if you have retirement, guys, all you got to do, text Graham to 989898 now. Just check it out. Not saying you have to do it, not saying you even can do it, but why not at least try it out, test it out, and get some information.
That's a great point. Great point, Todd. Because I looked into Birch Gold as well, and they sent me a bunch of information, and it is actually really easy to convert some of your IRA to a gold IRA. And it's good stuff because, I mean, we've seen how much gold and precious metals are going up. I mean, I wish I would have done it a year ago because it just keeps going up every single month. So it's not a guarantee. Obviously, everything's a risk when you do something like that. But gold is always a hot commodity. Like it almost never goes down. So.
Yeah.
Well, here's how I think about it. If Kamala wins, you're prepared because you have gold. If Trump wins, the economy will skyrocket and you're good because you have gold, silver.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, you know.
And again, it's not like you're gonna buy the gold and have gold bars laying around your house everywhere. I mean, an IRA, you can literally convert it and they can hold on to it for you. And it's just like owning stocks. You don't physically hold the stock in your hand. You just own it and it just gains as it goes. So anyways, okay.
Moving on. Let's talk about Kamala on worshiping the devil, because I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure she has an altar to Satan somewhere in her house. I'm just, prove me wrong. This was Kamala's response. Now, I want to lead y'all up to this particular video because I think it's interesting that she kicks Christians out of her rally the other day when they say Jesus is Lord. And she goes, you're at the wrong rally. Okay, maybe, just maybe. She didn't hear him, kicked him out by accident because she heard somebody chippering. Then, in order to make up for that, she goes to a church and starts preaching Luke. Okay, that's a balance. But now she's giving the opportunity. This reporter, this lady, asked her, well, what about religious exemptions on abortion? And here's her response.
What concessions would be on the table? Religious exemptions, for example, is that something that you would consider?
I don't think we should be making concessions when we're talking about a fundamental freedom to make decisions about your own body.
To Republicans like, for example, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, who would back something like this on a Democratic agenda if, in fact, Republicans control Congress, would you offer them an olive branch? Or is that off the table? Is that not an option for you?
I'm not going to engage in hypotheticals.
What concessions would be on?
All right, let me tell you something, Kamala. This is not a hypothetical. The Bible is crystal clear on abortion. God said he knew you before he formed you in the womb. All right, he knew you. Okay, that was your opportunity to denounce all of the stuff that's happened in the last 2 weeks, and you failed on a massive level. All right, this is not a Christian. She is not a Christian. She is not for God. I'm surprised that she didn't get hit by lightning when she was standing in the church. Thank God that we have Jesus, a savior, and not the Old Testament wrathful God, because that God would have sent a thunderbolt down on top of her. This is horrible. And if you, I'm sorry, we say this on the show all the time, that if you are a Christian, you cannot vote for this woman. Point blank, into the discussion.
And we talked about this the other day too. Like I mentioned how Jim Gaffigan at the Al Sharpton meeting was talking, and he was like, for all those undecided voters, how? He was like, how do you not see the difference? How could you be undecided? These two candidates are polar opposite. And if you're a Christian and you're undecided, how do you not see the difference between the two candidates and what they believe in? How can you not have your Christian morals align with either one of them? One is very obviously for what Christians believe, and one is very obviously against.
And I almost, because people ask, where is the wrath of God? Where is the old wrath of God? Unfortunately, the wrath of God is not going to be poured out until the end. Now, I firmly believe that this woman, and this is not me being a judgmental Christian, this is by example, by what she is showing us. She's going to receive the full wrath of God. Unfortunately, it's just going to happen when we won't be able to witness it. But again, she's not a Christian. She's not for Christians. And you cannot be a Christian and check her name on a ballot. I'm sorry, you can't. It's not possible.
I want to share something with you guys that Graham sent into the chat yesterday. In 2019, he posted something on his socials that said, if abortion isn't murder, then how come when a pregnant woman is murdered, it's a double homicide? It's just fundamental common sense that a person a baby is a human. I mean, as soon as conception happens, I mean, you cannot deny the fact that your DNA is growing in there. It is a human life, and these people who justify abortion with, oh, it's not alive yet, it's not a human. I mean, God made us. Our life is a wonderful gift, and these people are just taking what God's gift is to us, and they're playing God themselves is what they're doing.
Well, they know it's wrong. Yeah, and you know how I know that they know it's wrong? Okay, it's because of how they word it. All right, they've gone from calling it abortion to reproductive rights. Okay, they use, every time the Democrats and these crazy liberals use a word salad to explain something evil instead of just calling it what it is, that's how you know that they know it's wrong. It's just, unfortunately, now they are pandering to a group of people. You've got college students right now in America that are going, yeah, I'm voting for abortion. I don't care about the economy. Abortion's my number one topic. That's how evil we've gotten. Like, I don't care if I'm broke, I can't afford to pay my bills, and I have to hook on the street. As long as I can kill a child, I'm good. That's how evil we've gotten at this point. So, yeah, now that they're calling it reproductive freedom and reproductive rights, that's all you need to say. It's not that they don't know it's evil. It's that it's accountability. I've said this a million times. I do not, to my core, you cannot tell me there is such thing as an atheist. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there are people that are truly atheists in this world. I believe more so that it's people refuse to accept that one of these days they're going to be held accountable for the things that they've done on this earth. That's where the problem lies.
Yep.
We could have a whole show on this topic.
Oh, dude, I can go all day. And I will on the hot seat today. This is going to be the topic of conversation. Yes. I'm preaching a sermon at 2:00. So y'all better get ready. I'm telling you. Buddy. So Kamala was asked, hey, why do guys not want to vote for you? Why are you sucking with the male vote? And this was her response.
To implement the agenda that you want to implement, you have to win first. You have to win the White House. And right now, there is a big gender gap in this race. Fewer men support you right now than they did President Biden. Some of your allies have suggested there's sexism at play. I wonder, do you think there is sexism at play here?
Let me just tell you something. You've come to my events, and you will see there are men and women at those events, whether it be small events or events with 10,000 people. So the experience that I am having is one in which it is clear that regardless of someone's gender, they want to know that their president has a plan to lower cost, that their president has a plan to secure America in the context of our position around the world. They want a president of the United States who honors our military, who understands the importance of America's leadership around international rules and norms.
To implement the agenda that you
so she's basically saying, if you come to my rallies, there are men there. And to respond to that with the words of Donald Trump, yeah, there might be men there, but those men wives and their wives' lovers are voting for Trump. Where's the lie?
Yeah.
No real man is voting for Kamala Harris, and it has absolutely nothing to do with her being a female, her being a minority. That's just the cards that they like to play, okay? Because honestly, if you've seen all the polls, that's the only thing they got left, all right? Because Barack Obama goes and speaks in Michigan, and all he does is piss off the black guys. That's it. Like, they can't stand him, all right? So, yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with you being black or Jamaican or Indian or Irish, because she had an Irish accent at Colbert for some reason, or a woman. It's because you suck. Like, your policies, which we don't even know what they are because you still haven't told us. You're a horrible human being. All right. You're not a Christian person. You're not for the American family. Basically, everything that this country was founded upon, you're against. And now the American people are starting to realize that. So, no, you just suck, lady. That's why nobody's voting for you.
True, but unfortunately, what's going on is half of the country, or hopefully 70% of the country, is going to vote for Trump, and 30% is going to vote for her, however amount of votes she gets. But the thing is that she is getting it's so divisive still, and we've talked about this on the show before. It's so divisive that the people that are voting for her aren't voting for her because of her policies and because of what she stands for. They're literally voting for her because she is a trendy thing. She's a woman. And then they're voting anti-Trump. They can't. Anytime they ask somebody a question like, "Why are you voting for Kamala?" They literally have no answer.
No clue.
They have no like. What has she done? What has she done in her vice presidency that she can claim that she accomplished? And they never have an answer for that. It's literally just because she's my idol, or she's great, or she's gonna do great things for the country. But they have nothing to back it, and it's just unfortunate because it's just gonna be more divisive.
Charlie Kirk always asks when he does his college stuff and someone comes up saying, who are you voting for? I'm voting for Kamala Harris. Can you name one? What's your greatest accomplishment? Well, I don't know. Well, can you name one thing that she's done? Not really. Well, why are you voting for her? Because she's not Donald Trump. If that is your reason, listen, if there was only Democrats on the ballot, okay, I wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris. I wouldn't vote for any of them if all of their beliefs aligned the same, right? It doesn't matter who's a better person, this and that. Donald Trump's, you can call it an agenda to save America, to make America great again, is so much better than anything Kamala has to offer. Kamala posted the other day I tweeted about it. What was it? It was about something minuscule that she was going to do. Oh, we're doing this little thing to help the American people. And I commented on it. I said, well, close the border first. Her mindset is not towards the bigger things that are the bigger threat that's happening in America. It's towards the little things and the things that are going to hurt Americans more than anything else. And it's just about gaining power.
Yeah, well, everything that they tell you not to do, they're trying. Stay with me. Everything that they tell you you're wrong for doing, they're trying to get you to do. Okay, they tell you we don't make decisions. Okay, it is wrong to make decisions based on or hire somebody based on their color, their creed, their identity, their race, or whatever. But she's the only politician that has put out policies for black men. She's the only politician that has Barack Obama chastising black men. She just came out 2 days ago with an agenda for Latinos only. So you're preaching this DEI stuff, yet you are pandering and basically calling black men weak and stupid because they're not voting for Kamala Harris. All right, but you want people to vote for you just because you're a woman. You want people to vote for you just because you're a minority. Which is it?
I found the post. She posted saying that her administration is going to make it easier for people to cancel their subscriptions like Netflix. Who cares? Who needs it easier to cancel? Close the border. Stop the war.
You literally log on and say cancel my subscription. Dude,
we're going to make it easier to cancel your subscription service. Oh my gosh. That is not what we're looking for right now. That is
because nobody can afford the
America.
Subscription anyway.
Royce,
like nobody has it right now anyway because they can't afford it.
Royce, you brought up a good topic. I actually never thought about that, but and I don't know if you meant to, but can you imagine if there was just Democrats on the ticket, no Republican Party? If it was, let's say, Kamala, Hillary, Obama, how much percentage do you think Kamala would actually get? Because she has no policies out there.
We've already seen zero.
That. Yeah, I know we have.
That. Like, I know we have. Primaried nothing.
If there was any other, listen, she didn't get a chance to be voted in as the Democratic nominee. Exactly. Okay? If she did, there is no possible way that she would have won.
No.
Any other Democrat would have done, 100 times better than she would have if she was voted in. She was handed this presidency, this candidacy on a golden platter. That is not right. The American people, that did want to vote Democrat or believe in the Democrat Party did not want Kamala Harris. They're stuck with her. I do not want to vote for somebody that I'm stuck with. I genuinely want Donald Trump, and it was bittersweet for me to vote for Donald Trump for the last time yesterday because he's not going to be able to run if he wins again. If he loses, I don't think he'll run again.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to get
done.
it. I want Donald Trump in office. I wanted him to win the general, the primary, all of it. I don't think anybody would have voted for Kamala Harris.
No,
if she was given the opportunity.
You have a vice president right now that had the lowest approval rating of any vice president in history at 28%, which is worse than Dick Cheney, who shot his friend in the face. Like, that's where we are. That's where we are. Like, you've got Donald Trump on one side, who has already been the president and had a really good approval rating, fixed the economy, more people were working, businesses were coming into the country, people were flourishing until COVID hit. All right. Versus a vice president who was polling better than another vice president who shot his friend in the face.
Not to mention, she's pretty much illiterate.
Yeah.
And she speaks these word salads all the time, and she talks about space. And let's just hear what she had to say.
Do we have to?
I think we do have to.
Okay.
For the sake of research.
Can we at least put on captions so we can understand?
I wish. Here we go.
I think part of what is important in this election is really not only turning the page, but closing the page and the chapter on an era that suggests that Americans are divided. I think part of
turning the page, closing the page. Listen, I don't care. You can turn the page, close the page, or the chapter. I don't know what any of that means.
What is she talking about?
I have no idea. Like, the only part of that I got was Americans are divided. Americans are divided because you're the party that's causing all of this.
Not to mention, turn the page, close the book on what? The Biden-Harris administration that she's been a part of?
Lord have mercy, man.
What is she referencing here?
She is a mouth-breathing rock with lips that should be sued for wasting all of our oxygen.
I love how they always bring up the whole. They try to blame Trump being divisive, but it was Obama who started all the divisiveness, and they keep forgetting, or they're just turning a blind eye to it. He was literally the one that just divided his whole party, or divided the country. I'm sorry, and it's just, and we have not recovered from that. He started this whole DEI. Everybody's entitled kind of thing. I mean, it drives me insane. People need to remember we live in the best country in the freaking world, man. I don't even.
Ooh, I
got two comments on that.
I was gonna get Tony cussing 2.0.
No, we don't need.
I almost did.
I've got 2 points on that. I've only been alive for a few elections. Okay, I was born in the Bush era, and I was.
Which one?
The second.
Okay.
And I was able to kind of understand when Obama was being elected into office. And so all I've known is this major divisiveness. And I've asked my parents and I've asked other people and I've talked about it on the show. What was it like before all that? It was
great.
nowhere near.
Man,
apparently, I unfortunately, I don't get to experience that kind of peace between the parties, but it was nowhere near as divided.
No.
Nowadays, since I've been alive and been able to comprehend politics, it has been extremely, extremely divided.
This is how full circle we've gone. You had a Malcolm X. Malcolm X was famously saying that the most dangerous thing to Black America is a liberal white dude. Okay? Totally have forgotten that. And in my lifetime, and Tony's a few years older than me, but I didn't start hearing if you don't vote for this person, you're a racist until Obama.
Mm-hmm.
And exactly. I'll just be real with all of you. If you vote for somebody, I don't care what color they are. I don't care what gender they are. I don't even really care, to be honest with you. And I know a lot of y'all are going to attack me for this. I don't care their religious preference. Okay. But if you vote for somebody based on their color, their gender, or anything else other than their policy, you're an idiot.
Yep.
Simply put, for me.
And that's the way it should be. And again, just reiterating the fact that Todd's 100% right. Obama's campaign was very, very if you're not voting for Obama, you're a racist, kind of, you know, because we're voting against the black man, and it has nothing to do with that. Our country is based on policies and laws, and I'm saying it should be. I know it's not anymore. It's just it's all just corrupt up there, and we need to get all those people out of there, and that's what I'm voting for. I'm voting for Trump to come in there and getting rid of all those suckers.
This is like when I started seeing the divide go massive was because I was wearing a uniform when Bush was president. Okay, the second one. All right, I started hearing this a lot. Well, I mean, you know, Sergeant, how are you going to serve? Will you serve a black president any different than you would a white one? And I'm like me wearing a uniform, like I'm ever going to meet the president. The president doesn't affect me in any way, shape, form, or fashion.
Racism only, I do air quotes, exists because we keep talking about it.
Exactly.
And that's
Freeman.
what Morgan
Love
Freeman
it.
said.
Talking about
and
it.
if you don't recall, he is a black man.
Yeah, from
and
my state.
Is he really? I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
he's from Mississippi.
Morgan Freeman was talking about, and I mentioned this not too long ago, Black History Month. He's like, I don't want a Black History Month. The guy he was talking with, he's like, what do you? He's like, I'm Jewish. Do you want a Jewish History Month? And the guy was like, well, no. He's like, well, I don't want a Black History Month. He's like, racism only exists because we keep talking about it.
Agreed.
When Obama came in, he made it a point of subject.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it has never ended. It has
But
never, ever
I
ended.
like how it's backfiring now because it worked. He pulled the wool over everybody's eyes and it worked to get him elected.
Yeah.
Well, now people are realizing Barack didn't do nothing for Black America. Nothing. And so now he's on stage in Michigan. And I think it's funny because he got Eminem to introduce him and it did nothing. Like it didn't move the needle at all because people see right through it. And they're going, you fool me once, you ain't getting me again. But we got to continue.
Let's actually jump ahead a little bit for time. Let's jump to Joe Biden talking about Donald Trump.
Oh yeah.
Telling the truth.
Yeah, he accidentally said the quiet
Hey,
part
can
out
we go?
loud.
Because I want to bring a big conversation here. Can we go back one on Kamala talking about the lawyers for the election?
Yes.
Because these two go together. Okay, I want y'all to hear this. Okay, this is Kamala kind of leading us into what I think, and I'm just going to say this. I think there's a possibility for civil war no matter who wins this election. And I'll explain after the next two clips. Let's play the first one.
We've got 2 weeks to go, and I'm very much grounded in the present in terms of the task at hand, and we will deal with election night and the days after as they come, and we have the resources and the expertise and the focus on that as well.
So you have teams ready to go? Is that what you're saying? Are you thinking about that as a possibility?
Of course. We've got 2 weeks.
Wow,
So why would you have teams ready to go for after the election?
Well,
why would you have?
Probably because she already knows she lost. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's
Or
no
B,
way, and that brings me to my point, Royce, is I'm sorry, at this point right now, even in the early voting, Republicans that gap is not where it usually is, okay, between Democrats and Republicans in the early voting. So they're seeing the line in the sand. They're about to get drugged. Now, we still have to do our part. We still have to go do what we do, all right? But why would you have attorneys? Why would you have people ready, okay, after election night? And then Biden says this right here.
But real quick, Todd, let's call balls right here because I'm sure Trump has a team of lawyers also ready to go
He does,
if something happens. But yeah, the difference is that Trump, all the polling is showing that he is way ahead. So he has reason to have his lawyers ready to go. So that's the only difference here.
Mm-hmm.
Go
ahead.
All right, let's listen to what Joe Biden had to say.
This is a guy who also wants to replace every civil servant, every single one. Thinks he has a right under the Supreme Court ruling on immunity to be able, if need be, if it was the case, to actually physically eliminate, shoot, kill someone who he believes to be a threat to him. I mean, So I know this sounds bizarre. It sounds like if I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up.
Okay, remember earlier I said they tell you what not to do or what Trump or what we shouldn't do, but they're already doing it. So Biden, even in his slurring, psychopathic Alzheimer's patient Parkinson's rant there, said two things profound. All right, number one, when he's talking about using the military, because they've been on a tear about that Trump's going to use the military to attack civilians. Even Walz said that goes against the Posse Comitatus Act, but he's still going to find a way around it. Biden just said, he wants to even shoot people that don't agree with him. We should put him in jail. Okay, what Walz and Biden just said, coupled with Kamala having people ready for after the election, and you add the new DOD directive that authorizes military personnel to use lethal force against civilians, approved by the Secretary of Defense. I'm telling you, that was September the 27th when that directive was approved. I just find it very, very fishy that they're talking about all this stuff, Trump using the military, when that directive was sent out on the 27th, when Kamala now has a team of attorneys and a team of people for post-election. Biden's talking about it. I'm telling you guys, I think civil war happens, or the possibility a civil war happens, no matter who wins.
Well, there's no denying that the government is trying to posture themselves to be ready for a civil war. A, to just scare the American people out of doing it, or B, just to be prepared to be able to do it. But even scarier, and we've talked about this quite a bit too. If you remember a few months back, we had Russian submarines 90 miles away from the Florida coast. We had Russian and North Korean jets and China jets, I think, coming towards Alaska. They're flanking us from both sides. If we break into an internal war, what makes you think that they wouldn't just hop in and try to claim it all in that moment? So yeah, a civil war is scary, in itself, but I'm actually more scared of the vulnerability that comes from that.
Yeah.
And the fact that these other countries who hate us will kind of have their shot in that moment. Because they know when Trump's in office, it doesn't happen.
Let me alleviate some of the fear, okay? Because that's what they're doing now, okay? It's fear. We've gone from them trying to actually win this thing to now they know they can't. So now let's just scare the bejesus out of everybody. So let me ease some fear off y'all for just a minute. Even if the military was mobilized to go against, say Trump wins, Kamala, Biden doesn't want to let go of power. They have attorneys, we're not walking away from the White House. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that does happen. Okay. Let me tell you, 98.9% of the military is going to say, I'm on their side. I'm not on your side. Okay. And I know we've shown a lot of videos of woke military and things like that, but I need you people to understand, for folks that never served in the military, my enlisted guys, NCOs, your everyday soldiers that make up probably 85 to 90% of the military, they're on our side. Okay. And if that does hit the fan, they're going to turn on the government. It's the woke generals and up, the leadership, that's going to send the order down. And guys like me are going to turn around and go, nope, not happening. And your sheriffs, there's not a sheriff on this planet that's going to turn towards his people. It's not going to happen. So they may try it. It's not going to work out well.
Let's be very clear here. I don't think any one of us are hoping or wanting a civil war to happen. Well, okay. Let me speak for myself. I don't want a civil war to happen because obviously, yeah, exactly. Because obviously, I don't want to hurt anybody who's a true American, and I don't want any kind of violence to happen. But I've said it on the show many times. I never start a fight, but I'll finish it if it comes to me. But we've been saying this for a long time. there's nothing wrong with getting yourself prepared. I mean, dried goods, water, ammo, firearms, because none of that stuff will go bad. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If anything ever hits the fan, it's better to be prepared and have something there that you can protect yourself and your family with.
Yeah,
all I'm saying.
and to people in the chat that disagree with me, let me explain this to you. Let's say that does happen. What's the worst that can happen? Have y'all seen the movie Braveheart? Like when they hired a bunch of mercenaries to go against William Wallace, and it was just they all met, they stopped and went, "Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?" That's what's going to happen. All right, they're going to be coming at us. We're going to be coming at them. We're going to stop and go, "Hey, man, what's going on? Nice to see you." All right, yeah, y'all join us. But where it does happen, where the Democrat sheriffs and police departments and areas, they're crap holes anyway. So if they gain those areas, who cares? They suck anyway. So all that's going to do is fortify us and just make them suck even more. So it's a win-win. Like,
really
that's
quick
just the way I look at it.
To Tony's point, and then we can move on to Trump talking about Harris taking the day off. But to Tony's point about being prepared, even if something doesn't happen, if they're just trying to scare us, it's your right. It is your right to have this stuff and to be prepared. Those amendments are the Constitution is theirs. So like for instance, to take up arms, that's so we can defend ourselves from the government. We all know that. It is your right to be prepared no matter what happens. We should not be brushing it off saying, oh, there's no way this will happen. If we were as safe as could be, I would still want guns, ammo, food, water. I want to be ready just in case, because you never know. We've been through 2 world wars, a ton of other wars, Civil War. You need to be prepared no matter what. It's your right to do that.
Well, I live in a constant state of FOFO, so y'all, whatever y'all want to do. However, anyway, apparently Kamala took the day off the other day. I mean, with 2 weeks to go, this is how you know it's, see the writing on the wall. She took the day off, and Trump had to say this about it.
Everything. And I was going to hit her really hard on the trail today, but now I don't have to because she's off. She's off. No, I can't get over it. Who the hell takes off? We have 14 days left. And she'll take a couple of more days off, too. You know why? She's lazy as hell, and she's got that reputation. She's a radical left lunatic. She's further left than Bernie Sanders or Pocahontas. Now, Pocahontas, because I think, is Pocahontas further left than Bernie? Just about, right? It's close. It's close. Who the hell cares, right? Rick says, I don't know. But they're out there. But she's the furthest left. We can't have a person. She's a Marxist. About everything. And
I have to push. I want to push back on Trump's little disagreement with the president there for the first half of that. I'm not. Maybe she is lazy. Maybe she is lazy. Maybe she's not. I think she's taking the day off because she's really taken a beating in the last week or so. And if I was in her campaign, I'd have pulled her back and did some re-education because she has not had a good week.
Well, if you remember, before Biden dropped out, he took like 2 weeks off. He was on vacation for like 2 weeks, and then he dropped out. Yeah. Right after that. So she's probably having some sort of like realization, like this is not. Yeah, this is going the way we wanted. Potentially.
Honestly, I think she would do better in the election. I think she would do better if we did not see her again until Election Day.
Yeah. I do have to say, with his comments there, they were, and this is one of the stuff that I disagree with. I think they're a little off-putting because he would have done a lot better if he just said, oh, she took the day off. Well, okay, I'm not going to. I want to be your president. I'm going to work hard every single day. I mean, we're 2 weeks from the election. Your candidate should be out there pushing and grinding every single day. I'm not going to take a day off because what he's doing there, I know he's going to be Trump and I'm still voting for him, but when he says stuff like that, like, oh, she's lazy, she's a mark, all this, we all know this. And I know he's just reiterating the fact, but it is putting off a lot of people who are still on the fence. Like, well, maybe that's why I'm not voting for him. I think he would have done a lot better just sticking to the facts, pointing to him. We've talked about it, but when he does debates, just stick to the facts. Get your point across and move on. It's just about attacking people now, and it's just to me, it's just a little off. I'm gonna push
back on you a little bit. I'm gonna push back on you a little bit. Number one, I don't think anybody's on the fence right now. We're 13 days away right now. 13 days. Yeah. Everybody knows who they're voting for right now. Everybody. And the reason I say that, Tony, is because these candidates are so polar opposites. We've never seen anything like that. We've never seen two candidates being on two different wavelengths in American history. Like right now, Trump is on a baseball field and she's playing hockey. That's how different these candidates are. I don't think anybody's on the fence. But number two, this is why I love the dude, because you can always trust a lion to be a lion. All right? That's why I like him. I had no doubt what he was going to say in that situation.
Yeah, I do agree with Tony in the sense that, like, yeah, that's maybe not the best thing to say, you know, and that's why some people don't like his character, but you can't deny he's a great president.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
I do think, Tony, that this personality, this kind of fight back is why he got elected in 2016. Why he became so popular is the way that he was going about the debates, the way he was talking about other people. I think it let the American people know that, hey, this guy is a fighter. He's not just a pushover who's just going to agree here and there. He's going to do what needs to be done and say what he needs to say to get someone else out of the way, you know?
Yeah, and I identify with this personality that is Donald Trump, because me and him are a lot alike in that, yeah, there's a lot of people that can't stand me. I get that. There's a lot of people on this chat that probably hate me. But one thing you can't ever say about me is I don't know where he stands. And that's why I like Donald Trump, because I always know where he stands, because he's going to tell you what Jesus loves, and that's the truth. And it don't matter if you like it or not. He's going to tell you. All right?
Also, when he says stuff like, yeah, she's lazy, I think a lot of people, you know, might be sitting there being like, you know what? She is lazy. Like, you know, you agree with that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
Because that's how we talk about her, and you guys both know this. This is exactly how we talk about candidates, especially her personally, privately. We'll say she's lazy. We'll say all this different crap about her. And I know that he's running for president, and he should probably hold himself to a little bit higher standard when it comes to how he talks to people. But he's thinking and saying the exact same things that we're saying and thinking.
Yeah, he's saying
Yeah.
what's on our minds already.
No, I get that. All I'm saying is that there's a time and place for everything.
Agreed.
And I do agree with everything that he's saying. She might be lazy. She is crazy. She's a lunatic. I get all that. But, you know, optics. You know, Graham always talks about optics. Right now, I think it's time for we see where Trump stands. We know where Kamala stands, which is out in left field. But there's a time and place for everything. And I think he's sitting there at a table all by himself. There's people behind him. He's talking to people. He seems to be very controlled, very, you know, he's very stoic. I think there was a time and place to say all that, and right then was not the correct time. That's just my opinion, but I'm still voting for him. I'm not saying anything about him.
Oh,
probably,
yeah.
You know, I'm just saying that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some times, you know, and I told y'all this pre-show. That's the problem with being somebody like me, is whereas most people get into a verbal altercation with somebody, at the end of that altercation, they walk away going, crap, man, I wish I would have said this to that person. I wish I would have said this to that person. I have the opposite. I walk away from a verbal altercation going, God, I probably shouldn't have said that. And that's where we are with Trump. That's why me and him identify. But let's close the show out and talk about what's coming Friday. And this is huge. Trump will appear on the Joe Rogan's podcast this Friday. And for me personally, that is the proverbial nail in the coffin right there. The fact that Kamala won't do it, she's not going to do it, because Rogan's not going to take those predetermined questions, those stay away topics, those you can only say this. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do that with Trump. Like, he's not. So I'm very interested in two things. Number one, how hard in the paint Rogan's going to go on Trump. And two, is Trump going to sit there for 3 hours?
I don't think so. I don't think it'll be 3 hours. It'll probably be an hour, you know?
Man, like, I would love to be a guest on Rogan, but not for 3 hours, man.
No, this has been highly anticipated. And, you know, the point that you made saying, like, this is the proverbial nail in the coffin, I think the left was saying the same thing when he didn't go on 60 Minutes. But there is a big difference there. Joe Rogan is not a Trump supporter. He's not endorsed. He's not come out. But Trump knows that talking to him, he is a middle of the road, genuine guy. If he goes on 60 Minutes, it'll be attack, just like the first debate. And that's not what we need. We need real conversations, just like he's had with these other comedians and these other podcasts that he's gone on that haven't exactly been huge Trump supporters. Like Trump might not, we'd love to have on our show, but it doesn't help him to bring him on our show because we're just going to talk good about him and talk bad about the other side. Going on people like Joe Rogan, it is a middle of the road where he will say, hey, this is how I view things. And I'm not, all the way left, all the way right. And I think this is how most Americans want to think,
Yeah, I agree.
So having Trump on this show, this is the complete opposite of what I was just saying. Have Trump go all out with him because this is the time and place. So yeah, go out there and just go at each other because like Royce just said, Rogan is not a Trump fan. I'm not saying that he's voting against him, but I've read some stuff that they're not kosher. But this is the exact time and place to go all out and call Kamala what she is. Call her out on all the crap that she's done.
Yeah, and this is why I think it's the nail in the coffin is because, yes, Rogan is not a fan of Trump, but Rogan has common sense. He has common sense. And so if they disagree about something and they get into an explanation, and if Trump explains it to him, say, hey, this is what you got, this is what I'm wanting to do, and this is why, Rogan has enough common sense to go, if he agrees with it, he'll go, okay, that does make sense. And if he doesn't, he'll go, no, it don't make sense to me. And that's why I say this is a huge opportunity. We're talking about 14 million people that listen to this show.
Mm-hmm.
That is a megaphone of massive proportions. So
exactly.
this could be the know all be all, and that puts Kamala in the dirt, tombstone up, call it a day.
This interview could break the internet, dude. I mean, seriously.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
people are gonna log on.
100% agree with that.
Yep.
Okay.
Donald Trump's notorious for having break the internet moments.
That's true. Yeah, very true. Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's helping, especially in the polling on Kalshi, where people are betting 60 to 40%. That is wild. And they even still have Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, like as toss up. They're purple. I don't think they are. I don't think they are. But either way, 60 to 40%, it's unbelievable.
And the poly market is even worse. I think it's bad. It's bad when Harry Sisson throws up the poly market and goes, "Oh my God, Kamala Harris is going to win this thing," and it's just the popular vote poly market. It's not the one that actually gets her elected.
People, everybody that's watching though and listening. We're up 20 points right now on the polls, it says, but it's so important to get out there and vote early because we saw what happened last election. All of a sudden, Biden had a influx of votes going up, and that's how I think they stole the election because they cheated. So it's very important to get out there and vote early, take all your friends with you, get everybody out there and vote.
Or go to tpaction.com and come join us. We'll be in Arizona next week chasing some ballots. Right now, you can go to Arizona, Wisconsin. I think even North Carolina is one of them right now. If you are a member of Patriot Mobile will their grassroots campaign. They'll pay you up to $44 an hour to go chase ballots. So look those things up. Do your part. But I got to say, doing your part is not just voting, like talking to people. And I get this all the time. Man, I'm the only person in my family that's voting for Donald Trump. Well, are you having conversations with them, like at all? If you're just avoiding conflict, that's not the right way to go about doing things. You know?
True.
Get into some conflict. Don't be afraid of conflict. Conflict can be a good thing. It's always good for me. But anyway, while we got everybody here, let's go ahead and pray this thing out. And then we'll get to the super questions. Father, we just thank you for a good show. Father, I thank you for these two men and how we're able to go out here and spread the word, spread the gospel of your son, Jesus Christ, and the sacrifice that was made. Father, we're 13 days away from this thing. Father, I ask that you go out to your people, that you reach every single one of your children, and then you give them the power, the authority, and the boldness to go out and do what needs to be done so we can win this thing and flip our country around. Father, I've never seen in the 41 years you've allowed me to be on this earth, I've never seen a country in more dark times and more divided than we are right now. And this is the perfect example of the battle between good and evil. And you call on us to be the salt and the light of the earth. And I ask, Father, that you remind us that it doesn't matter that we win in the end. It's what we do now. And Jesus himself said, if you want to follow me, you have to take up your cross and follow me. Okay. Father, we love you. We thank you for all that you do for us. And we ask all of these things in your son's name, and all God's people said.
Amen.
Amen. Super question time. Let's see here. Boom, boom. First one of the day.
Oh, God. Punisher 541. Todd, come on now. Be honest with the people. As the one who dwells in your basement, I know you weren't sick. You were fighting the hangover after a night of debauchery.
Truth be told, Todd, when you didn't show up yesterday, I said he drank too much tequila.
Yeah, whatever.
He drank too much tequila.
I love the guy. He's, if anything, he is, you know, he's consistent.
That is mucho borracho. He drank too much tequila.
KC13, I agree with you, Royce. How can you vote for that heifer? But I have an uncle who is a Methodist preacher, and he and his family vote Democrat. They think they are on the right side of history. Yeah.
I would just ask them, about it's one. I've said this before. It is one thing. If you're a Christian, the abortion conversation should be it for you. Mm-hmm. That should be it. They want. I just had to sign no to an amendment in Florida, asking if we can make it legal to have abortion up to 9 months. That is criminal. That is murder. And if you are a Christian and you believe, like you mentioned earlier, Todd, God knows you before you were even born, before you were conceived. If you believe that and they stand for abortion, you cannot vote for them. So I would maybe have, like Todd was saying, have that conversation with them. If they think they're in the right side of history, my personal belief is that they're wrong.
This is one of those subjects where, like you said, Rose, we can talk about it for a whole show. I would go up to that Methodist preacher and just ask him, do you know more than God? I mean, are you God? Can you play God? I mean, can you make life like he can? Then how are you voting Democrat? Because they're literally killing the life that God gives us. I don't understand. Boom. Yeah. Mic drop, walk away.
Yep. Harley Girl, awesome. Can't wait for the sermon. I'm telling y'all, come check us out at 2. Me and Casey, it's gonna be biblical. I'm getting nasty today. I'm being real.
God's gonna have a worship service.
I'm giving my sermon on the Mount today. Like, I've had enough.
All right.
Game Right 15. Love both shows that y'all do. Call me ignorant, but how did Lickum get started? It cracks me up when y'all say it, but I'm confused at how it got started. Keep up the good work. Because Biden was talking about countries, like something about countries. We got to get them, or we got to something. And he said, we got to lick them. We're going to lick them.
See if I can...
Like, it was hilarious.
Lick them.
We got to lick them. You find the clip.
I'm trying to find the clip.
Make my day.
Says, lick them.
Lick them. We got to lick them.
Threaten to lick the world. Have you seen that?
Yeah. We got to lick the world. Lick them.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So then I think I have it here. Let me pull it up just for the sake of this comment. Is this it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
All right.
Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
Let's go lick them.
The world.
Let's go lick
And I just added the redneck on it.
Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
He very clearly says it too. Like, it's not like it's not.
We're gonna lick them.
He may have said something else. No, he said, let's go lick the world. And I love this even better. This is the White House, and you can find this right now. The White House transcripts. They release all the it says lick the world.
Yeah.
On whitehouse.gov on their website. Funniest thing I've seen.
I mean, I know we just saw the clip of him saying we need to lock him up when he was talking about Trump. Why can't we just put Biden back in his rocking chair and just leave him be? He is just an old
dude. They're all about some elder abuse. I mean, Jimmy Carter voted for Kamala.
Alrighty, next.
Somebody's going to hell for that. NZAB, do we have a people problem or a politician problem? I think it's people. We put up with and vote for these losers. There aren't any repercussions for not representing our values and ideas. No, I don't think we have a politician or a people problem. I think we have a parent problem. I think that you can draw everything down in the beginning. You have a parent problem. Once families got away from the dinner table of having conversations after dinner was cooked, sitting at the dinner table, talking about their days, talking about things. Now we're glued to a TV or we're glued to this. Parents are not disciplining their kids. They're affirming everything they do. They're giving them participation trophies for finishing 9th place and saying, as long as you tried your best, that's all that matters. We have a parent problem.
On a bigger picture, I agree. Yes, nowadays parents are not what they used to be. But when Joe Biden was a kid, I don't know his parent situation, but it wasn't that much of an issue back then. Parents were a bit stricter, most I think. But nowadays, yes, the people of my generation, the parenting seems to have, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just weird. But I actually would say that we do have a politician problem, not a people problem, because we don't need the politicians, and we have to get away from the politicians. We need more people. We need the people, the normal people. Like I say normal, I know he's a billionaire, but he's not a politician. He was not a politician. And he came in and he did really good for this country because he's been through it. He works with the people in construction. He knows these people. Politicians are there for a career. They're there for power. People are there because they want to fix the problem. So I think we do have a politician problem, not a people problem.
I think we have a religious Christian problem.
Oh,
because if people were based in faith, we wouldn't have any of this. Do we have a people problem, a politician problem? Because they would put Jesus and God first, and then all their decisions would be based on that. My wife and I talked about this the other day of how people are turning away from the Bible and they're justifying all the stuff they're doing, all the gay, killing babies, abortion, all that stuff. That stuff wouldn't be happening if you actually woke up in the morning, prayed, did your devotion, and start thinking about your day with Jesus number one first.
But it all boils down to parents, because monkey see, monkey do. Children are going to do what they see their parents doing. Like it really, they.
I actually redact everything that I said. I completely agree with Tony. At the base of it, it is a religion thing, and that does follow along with the parents. That does follow, but at the base of it, just like this country was founded on religion, and we've gotten away from that. Exactly. A family should be founded on religion. So should your decisions in policy and in making voting. It should all be based. The foundation should be on religion. I completely agree with Tony. Next.
Vern Kevin 111. When is Walz going to jail? He knows he's guilty and lying to the American people. Not soon enough. But, it'll be made to light soon enough. Yeah. Randall J. All. For since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, has been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so that people are without excuse. Yeah. Billy Pollock. Growing up, no one cared if you were a Democrat or Republican. Nowadays, the worst insult someone can call you is to say you're a Democrat. We scrapping. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Not until I was like in my 30s have I ever been asked, what my political preference was. Harley Girl. Trump will need a lot more than attorneys to fight what they're planning. Bring it, beaches.
I don't know what they're. We'll find out on November 5th. But man, I don't know what they got up their sleeve, because it is much harder than it. It will be much harder than it was for them in 2020.
It's got to be something really big, because if the numbers keep tracking the way they are and he wipes the floor with her, I don't know how they're gonna. All their lawyers are gonna be there, trying to say it's not valid or the numbers weren't blah 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 whatever. I mean, it's got to be something huge. So it's gotta be huge.
I cannot believe it's less than 2 weeks away. I'm just unbelievably. I'm nervous but excited, and I don't know.
Manly Tatas. Todd is right. I've seen a lot of videos on why people are voting for Kamala. The majority said because of abortion. I'm sure they're convincing people to sacrifice their baby for their demon god. Yeah. Whether they know it or not.
And again, it all starts with your faith.
That's right.
If you had God in your house, you wouldn't even consider, abortion or killing another human being, unless it has something to do with medical. Then it gets really like, okay, well, lose your wife, lose your baby. That's a totally different subject. I mean, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying it's a totally different thing. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. Whims. Our country is proud to be a melting pot. We love how different ingredients come together, but our head chief is a DEI hire and left the burner on. This is about to boil over. Can't let it torch the building. That's my favorite comment of the day right there. That's a good one.
Whims.
I'm going to use that. Again, NZAB. What do you think will happen in the blue cities after the election? I'm part of the NYPD, the unit that deals with protests. Will I get to see my home, or will it be quieter than we think? Trump, dude, I can be honest with you. Like, oh man, God bless what you do. People praise soldiers all the time for what we do, but I gotta say, police, especially you in the NYPD, you're literally behind enemy lines every day of your career. I think your job is a lot harder than mine was. But if I was in the NYPD right now, bro, move down here. Like,
let me
we'll
show
love
you
down here.
Let me show you exactly what's gonna happen in the blue cities. You guys ready? Oh my God! I can't believe we lost. Oh my God!
We hope
that's what's gonna happen. That's exactly what's gonna happen.
We hope.
Yep.
Burning down stuff, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. That's just their track record, So you have to go off of that. But I don't know. Yeah.
Cheryl, you guys are amazing. Thank you for all you do. Thank you.
You're
Cheryl.
amazing.
Thank you, Cheryl.
You're amazing. You are amazing. Calendar. Question. I live in Idaho, which is a red state. Should I be voting early? Yes. The county I live in still does paper ballots, so they have to be hand counted. Love the show. Yes, if you can vote early, guys, vote now. I don't care if you're a red state, blue state, purple state, green state. Vote. The day you are eligible to vote is when you need to vote.
Exactly. And we've been
If
saying
I
that
could
for
vote
weeks.
today, I
vote
would.
early. Vote early.
Mm-hmm.
Harley girl. 5 brothers, no sisters. I work construction. Nothing Trump says offends me. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's just honest. Enough said. Get tough or die.
Enough said. I like that. Enough.
Get tough or
Enough
die.
said.
I like it. Enough said.
Enough said.
Angela Durham, double check your ballots. Yep. Seen a lot of that.
I wish there was. There might be. I might just not know. But I wish there was a way to check online to see how your ballot was casted. To make sure.
There is. I don't know
I
what
thought
state
all
it
that
is.
stuff
Is
was
there?
public knowledge.
There is a state where you can track your ballot all the way through. I don't remember which state it was, but
I'm
there is.
gonna look up to see if I can do that in Florida, because I would like to. Because in Florida, like you guys said, in North Carolina, you punch it in on the machine, you click all the buttons, vote Democrat all the way down, or I'm sorry, Republican, all the way down. And then you double check and you submit it, and that's it. You get the paper, you put whatever. In Florida, you get a physical paper ballot, you fill in the circles, and then you stick it in a machine, and that's it. It doesn't confirm with you what your votes were. I wish I could check to make sure that my vote was counted as I voted this, and this.
See, I think what we need to do is go back to Tony will know what I'm talking about, like the old 1995 state testing days where you got to fill in a bubble and you have a Scantron sheet with a, what's it called? That you get a copy, they get a copy. That way, if something changes, you go,
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about those carbon copy things?
Yeah,
where you
carbon
rip them up?
copy.
Yeah,
Your ballot is a carbon copy. You get a copy, the state gets a copy.
Do you remember those, Royce? You might not know this, but back when they used to do the credit card signatures, they had a machine you went, and it was
There was no
Time
machine.
in the Home Alone movie.
You didn't get charged until it'd be 6 months down the road. Be like,
You're
did
like,
I go?
I forgot I ate there.
Yeah.
Next.
Damn it. I tried letting my family know that they're voting for a Jezebel. They didn't care and still are voting for her because she's not Trump. You can't fix stupid even on your beloved family. I mean, you're right. But, hey, at least you're willing to go to bat. Some people, I have to say, I'm guilty of that as well. I used to go to these family things many years ago, not with Kendra's family, but another one, and I was told I don't talk about politics, don't talk about religion, and I cowered to it. Not anymore.
Next.
Princess Debbie. Could I get a boy for my 13-year-old autistic grandson Landon? At church, he stood up and informed the congregation to vote Trump because he couldn't handle 4 more years ahead. Attaboy.
I want that clip. I hope that is recorded.
Please.
Email it to me, royce@dearamericamedia.com. I want that clip. That's amazing.
And for Landon, attaboy.
Attaboy.
Stephen Carks. On January 1st, 1863, Abraham Lincoln, a self-educated lawyer from the hills of Indiana, as president, declared all slaves were free. April the 4th, 1865, a Democrat named John Wilkes Booth murdered him. Remember. Yep.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. Bass Chica. Fohanus. Yeah. Elizabeth Warren. Yeah, for sure. Brenda Renee. When Trump gets into office, would you recommend him holding people accountable legally for what they've put him and others through the past 8 years? This is where I'm kind of on the fence about. I think that when Trump wins, I think we need healing. I think we need like 6 months of let's heal the country, let bygones be bygones and be done with it and move past it and try to I think we need to be more focused on getting the economy, the country, the illegals out, making America great again versus revenge and retaliation. And I will say, on this show, if he starts going down that path of retaliation, I will call him out. We don't have time for that.
I actually disagree, and I'll tell you why, Todd. When Trump was elected in 2016, he decided not to go after Hillary Clinton for that reason. He wanted peace. Hillary Clinton was obviously guilty. Everything, the emails, all that stuff. Obviously guilty, and he did not go after her. And I think he regrets it. I think Hillary. I think he regrets it. I don't think he's going to make the same mistake. I think in order for there to be peace, we have to get out the vermin. We have to get them out.
What I will say is he needs to get rid of all of the generals, all of the military leadership, most of the Pentagon, FBI, CIA, the Justice Department, all of these corrupt judges. He needs to wipe the slate clean. I don't think he needs to be prosecuting people for going after him. He just needs to drain the swamp like as much as he possibly can and start over. We need to etch a sketch.
Exactly. You have to get rid of the vermin in order to clean it out. So I do think there has to be something.
Could we possibly have BLM type riots from Kamala losing? I think anything's on the table at this point. Like I really do. That's why, hey, stock up.
Yep. And last one of the day, Sheila
May. I voted already. Jesus may be my savior, but Trump is my president. Jesus loves y'all, and so do I. I love you guys
early
too.
vote, everybody. Get out.
Early vote. And
do it today.
Yeah, one more person I need to talk about. I've got a close friend of mine, Lindy Rigg, just lost his grandmother, and his mom is not handling it very well. So, Lindy's mom, we are in absolute prayers for you. Sorry for your loss, and things will get better. I promise you. We'll promise you. But that's all the time we got for today. Roy, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Tony, say goodbye.
Hasta mañana, everybody.
And I am Hot Seat Todd, sitting in for Graham Allen, reminding you to stay awake, not woke. Trust in God, not the government. And as always, stay free.